If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another album review for you guys. Tonight I am talking about the latest offering from German melodic progressive death metal band Disillusion with Ayam, or Ayam, whatever you want to say. So this came out on November 4th of this year, and this is the band's fourth studio full-length. I did talk about their last album that came out in 2019, Deliberation, and it was a huge album, and it was a phenomenal album, and I think it made my top 10 year-end list for 2019, but if not, it should have been, because holy shit. So yeah, Disillusion, like I said, they're melodic, they're proggy, all within the world of death metal, but definitely more on the prog side than on the death metal side. But how does Ayam sound? Well, pretty much when it comes down to the production is very strong throughout this entire album. Like, it's got some moments where it gets lush, and at moments it gets very aggressive and dissonant. But I love how every instrument is mixed together wonderfully. The guitars, the bass, the drums, and even the vocals. Nothing's too overpowering. So when it comes down to the sonics of this album, it definitely feels rich and full and lush and dissonant at times, but very atmospheric, and definitely there are a lot of different elements going on throughout, and a lot of different influences going on throughout this album. When you start off with Am Abgrund, I think I got that right, where it kind of has more of like this like dramatic beginning, and then it gets into this like big triplet chug. And there are a couple of moments on this album where you get some like death metal triplet chugs, like in Am Abgrund and also the song Tormento. You get these like really cool triplet chug moments that definitely scream death metal. And then there are times also even on this album where it gets a little bit thrashy, such as the opening track, Am Abgrund. But Am Abgrund has this like big epic chorus, but it has that like Opeth groove. And then again, I've seen this band get compared a lot to bands like Opeth and then Mourning, Persephone, even like Edge of Sanity a little bit, because of that more melodic side to their progressive death metal style. But even some like cool pinch harmonics will show up here, and even some like somber acoustic and clean breaks, but with like an ominous spoken word section. But then at the very end of this song, you get this like big heavy breakdown chug that feels like Morbid Angel with some of the tremolos that you get. But Tormento, like I said, that song also has a really cool triplet chug section, but then you get this like big, groovy breakdown with atmospheric tremolos that almost feel like Meshuggah. And there are quite a few moments on this album where a lot of the movements and some of the riffs and the beats definitely feel like this band was listening to a lot of Mastodon, such as in Tormento and Abide the Storm. Like, those two tracks in particular kind of showcase a little bit more of like a Mastodon influence, and even in the clean vocal sections on Tormento made me think, was this Bron Daylor doing the vocals? Even though it wasn't, but it, like, the vocalist definitely was kind of channeling his inner Bron Daylor with some of the cleans on Tormento. Driftwood, the following track, may be my favorite song of the album, because it's like the most, even though you got two songs that are 11 plus minutes long, this one, in terms of like melodic prog, this one was probably my favorite song, and it was the only track that has no growling vocals at all, not even one slither of growling vocals. Like, it's all cleans. But I love how it starts off with this like beautiful acoustic line, the cello coming in, the bass and percussion. Kind of reminded me of like a hybrid of Opeth's Moonlapse Vertigo and System of a Down's Question. Like, those two songs mashed together was what I thought this song pretty much was all about. All these dynamic shifts that you get where it starts off calm and then it gets a little bit bombastic, then it calms down again. But there were some amazing drum flurries going on here to help build tension, and then you get some chunky guitars mixed with the cello. But yeah, this song was just more about providing atmosphere than anything else. And then back to the track Abide the Storm, like I said, there's these thrashy riffs that kind of come in, but it has more sinister melodies, kind of similar to like Old in Flames a little bit. So this is where more of that like melodic death metal influence kind of shines through. And even the melodies get occasionally somber, kind of like Insomnium a little bit. But here on this track in particular, there's like more experimentation going on within the instrumentation. You have flugelhorns and trumpets coming in, and during the section when the flugelhorn comes in playing along to the acoustic guitar, it still has that like Mastodon feel, but then towards the end, the riffs get more punchy and dissonant, kind of like Gojira to some extent. Long Hope was definitely a very unique track because you have a lot of these like soothing soundscapes, and the first vocals that pop up feel very bassy and bluesy a little bit. And then like the drums, clean guitars, and the bass kind of turn into like a section you might have heard from Dream Theater's Train of Thought. But then when it gets a little more aggressive in tone, it kind of almost turns into something between the Buried in Me would do. 9 Days, the following track, you get more, well, pretty much this whole album, you get beautiful acoustic guitar lines that just perfectly encapsulate everything musically about this album. Lots of great lead melodies that just show up, and like this was probably the one song where they really got very self-indulgent with the leads. Well, maybe not self-indulgent, but more using leads to bring more atmosphere to the song as opposed to using the riff or the vocals to carry the atmosphere. They were doing more melodic lead parts to really do that. But even the vocals do kind of carry forth a narrative throughout the song. Even some tribal beats come in on this track, and man, these clean vocals on this song were just wonderful. But the big dynamic shifts, again, calmness to darkness and rinse and repeat. But then From the Embers, which is probably the most somber song of the album, with the keyboards and the cellos. You even get like a big, huge, epic riff with a little bit of chunk to it, kind of like Opeth again. And even the grooves and the riffing does feel like classic Opeth, with some time shifts kind of coming in here and there right when the lead section begins. But all these melodies on this song were just somber and depressing. And even the ending of the song was just so beautiful with the cello and the acoustics. And then the closing track, The Brook, more of an eerie song in terms of like how they use the soundscapes to feel a bit more eerie, but still maintaining somber overtones. And I love how the drums are used to build the atmosphere and tension as opposed to the guitars. And it's like these atmospheric mood shifts. It's almost like the song's telling a story of someone who's going through depression, then gets really pissed off. And that mood definitely shifts whenever you get some like dark riffing that feels like Gojira. But then at the end, the atmosphere kind of turns more uplifting, like someone's redeemed their life through perseverance and never giving up. But yeah, overall, like the lead work on this album was just masterfully done. It doesn't get self-indulgent. There's some shreddy moments, but more or less these leads are more about atmosphere and feel rather than showing off like, hey, look how fast I can play and how much shred I can unleash into your ears. And I always love albums that have a cool atmospheric backdrop, especially in prog music. And I think these atmospheric backdrops you get on here beautifully complement the music. All the other instruments do a great job at complementing everything about the album itself. And these melodies just kind of go everywhere, from uplifting to somber, haunting, and even murky and even sinister. The clean vocals, absolutely exceptional, showcasing passion and diversity, while the growls felt more like a thrash bark than a death metal growl. But that's just kind of more or less what I picked up on. But any complaints I could have about this album? Honestly, I can't really think of any. Like, everything on here was just masterfully crafted and done to almost perfection. I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10 as well. Man, this weekend was a great weekend for prog. And this, kind of like the Devin Townsend double album, just showcasing where prog could go in any realm, whether it's in the melodic realm or the extreme realm. Disillusion just continued to pump out great music, and that's all I've got to say about that. And that is my review of Ayam by Disillusion. What did you guys think of this album? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, horns high, see you guys later.
I'm very mad right now. You're kidding me. You are kidding me.
Nah.
He was kidding me! Bruh!
No, I'm not.
No!
I win.
Are you kidding me? No!
I had 4.
I was 1 card away!
No,
One card!
clutch.
No, dude! Unbelievable. I had 3 7s and a wild card, as well as 3 8s, 2 9s. I was there, dude. No!
So, yeah, it is what it is. But anyways, I whooped his ass.
Boo! Trash game!